Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of LTI, I welcome you all for this webinar titled Empowering Teachers to Integrate Technology, Challenges and Solution. So before we move on to the webinar, I request you to watch a prom clip of LTI. So here it is. Dear participants, thank you for watching the promotional video of LTI. I have a few announcements to the instructions actually to the audience. We have a chat facility where you can share your ideas on the topic being presented. During the question answer session, you can post your questions. The questions will be directed to the speaker and the speaker will answer your questions. I request not to share your personal details like your phone number or email ID on the chat. These are two instructions, and people who have not received the certificates for the previous webinar, don't be worried. So we are working on it. It will be sent to you shortly. So we have with us today moderator Dr. S. Jayashree Agarwal. She is an assistant professor of English from Kaveri College for Women, Tiruchirappalli. She is an active member of LTI. So I hand over the session to the moderator. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Praveen, for the introduction. Good evening and a warm welcome to the members of ELTI, English Language Teachers Association of India, in the 63rd webinar in the series on empowering teachers to integrate technology, challenges and solutions. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce Dr. M.S. Xavier Pradeep Singh, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of English, St. Joseph's College, Autonomous, Trichy, Tamil Nadu. With 12 years of progressive teaching, he has transformed the face of digital learning and teaching because of his acumen for integrating technology with teaching. Thus, he has been scaffolding learners in achieving autonomy and enhancing 21st century skills. With a mission to develop and foster innovation through the usage of web tools in the Indian educational context, and with an innate passion to teach English and promote digital teaching, he has served as a resource person in more than 80 workshops, FDPs, seminars, webinars, both online and offline. He has published innumerable articles in journals, magazines, conferences, proceedings, and anthologies, and also published training manuals, especially relating to development of English language skills and integration of technology to teach English. He has served in editorial board of journals in various capacities of an editor-in-chief, editor, consulting editor, executive editor, a reader in journals like Mextesol, Journal of Mexico, Journal of Teaching English with Technology, Poland, Journal of Teaching and Research in English Literature, and Journal of Technology for ELT, India, to just name a few. He was also a reviewer for Impact and Publishing Limited, Birmingham, UK, for the publication of the book Workshop in a Box, Communication Skills for IT Professionals. He is a prominent member of professional associations. Apart from being an ELTI's donor member, he is a member in I8FL, International Association of Teachers of English as a Foreign Language, Asian Association of Teachers of English as Foreign Language. He is a global professional member in TESOL International Association and regular member in ALA, Asian Association for Language Assessment. He is a proud recipient of e-teacher scholarship from RELO, the American Embassy, to do online teacher training courses on building teaching skills through the interactive web, and assessment, summative and formative practices in language learning and teaching offered by the American Institute, University of Oregon, USA. He has participated in the Hornby South Asian Regional Training in Dhaka, Bangladesh, and has received financial support from the British Council India. Furthermore, with the ARMS Research Grant from the British Council, he has also mentored English language teachers to pursue classroom-based research. His profile runs to 15 pages with credentials and academic achievements. I could only sum it up as Dr. Xavier Pradeep Singh as an instructional designer, techno-savvy teacher, teacher trainer, mentor for teachers, researcher, editor, reviewer, and most importantly, a simple and humble human being who lives with a motto of to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. Most welcome, sir. Eagerly awaiting for your session. Over to you. Please, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to meet all of you in this pleasant evening. And first of all, I would like to thank ELTI for providing me this opportunity to make a presentation on empowering teachers to integrate technology, challenges, and solutions. So today in my talk, I'll be exploring some of the challenges teachers face when they integrate technology in their classroom and how those challenges can be solved. Okay, through institutional practice, how that can be solved. That is what I'm going to concentrate in my talk. And my talk will have 3 sections, beginning with why and what of technology integration. And then I'll move on to the challenges and solution. Finally, I'll stop with some of the emerging opportunities for teachers who use technology in the classroom. So why should a technology be integrated into classroom practices, first of all? We can take a clue from the National Educational Policy, which was released last year. According to the National Educational Policy, education plays a critical role in the transformation of the entire nation into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. And in this process, technology plays an important role in the improvement of educational processes and outcomes such as teaching, learning, assessing, planning, and administrating. Thus, the relationship between technology and education at all levels is bidirectional. Technology influences education, and in turn, education also influences technology. These are the words included in NEP. Okay. Now, the teachers are the ultimate channel of technology distribution in the classroom. Okay, only through the teacher, the technology can enter into the classroom, because teacher is the one who can implement technology first of all, and then give it to the students for learning purposes. So by strengthening teachers to innovatively use technology, all educational processes and outcomes can be improved. Okay, so we need to strengthen the teachers so that the technology integration can be done in a better manner. But strengthening teachers involves overcoming so many challenges, we need to change the negative attitude of teachers and resistance to change. Likewise, there are several changes at the teacher level and at the institutional level. So before exploring the challenges and providing solutions, let's look at the role of a teacher in a classroom where technology is used. Of course, I acknowledge that there is digital divide in India. There are still places where even electricity is not present in classes. But wherever it is possible, we need to use technology, because once your students complete their education, when they go for work in the outside world, technology is present there. They need to make use of technology to enhance their to develop themselves in their profession. So to make students use technology, teachers also have to use technology. Now, I've got a picture here, a picture of a warrior riding in a chariot. Now, I've also labeled it with the warrior as teacher, and the chariot as technology, and the horses as pedagogy. Which of the three, who of the three is the most important in a classroom? I've got a poll. You will see the question in the chat box. You can just click on the option. Which or who of the following is the most important? Teacher, pedagogy, or technology? Okay. I've got 72% of people saying teacher is the most important, and the it's changing. 22% of people saying pedagogy is the most important, and only 3% of people saying technology is the most important. Okay, I'm happy that most of you have said teacher is the most important in the classroom. Of course, that is true. Teacher is the most important person in the classroom, because the teacher decides what pedagogy to be used in the classroom, and and which technological tool can be used for that pedagogical purpose. All these things are decided by a teacher. So in this sense, the role of a teacher is completely different. A teacher becomes a designer. A teacher becomes an instructional designer. And then when the lesson is delivered in the classroom, the teacher also becomes a facilitator. So a teacher has got different roles in a classroom. So Bill Gates once said, technology is just a tool. in terms of getting the kids working together and motivating them, the teacher is the most important. So without a teacher, technology cannot work in the classroom. So technology can never replace a teacher. Or in other words, teachers who can be replaced with a computer deserves to be, because such teachers may not have the wisdom. Or we have got two kinds of teachers. The first teachers are teachers, and the second one are people who work as teacher. So that is a difference. People who are teacher and people who work as teacher. These two categories are completely different. I hope you understand. So any teacher who can be replaced with a computer deserves to be, because that teacher is doing only the mechanical task in the classroom. The teacher may not be sharing his or her wisdom with the students. Now, what does technology integration mean? We all use technology in the classroom, but when it comes to integrating technology into classroom, into educational processes, we need to understand it from a different angle. So there is a concept called Summer model. The Summer model talks about 4 degrees of technology integration. So when it comes to technology integration, it is the use of technological resources, computers, mobile devices, digital cameras, social media platform and networks, software applications, and the internet in the daily classroom practices. And seamless integration is what is required in today's context. What do we mean by seamless integration? When you integrate technology seamlessly, students are not only using technology daily, but they have access to a variety of tools that matches the task at hand, and we also provide them the opportunity to build a deeper understanding of the content. And effective technology integration is achieved when students are able to select technology tools to help them obtain information in a timely manner. And after obtaining information from with the use of technological tool, they must also be able to analyze and synthesize the information and present it professionally using the technological tools. So in that sense, the technology becomes an integral part of how a classroom functions. And the Summer model, as I told you, it is a framework created by Dr. Ruben Penontra. This model talks about the 4 degrees of classroom technology integration. The letters SAMR stands for substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. These 4 levels are they refer to 4 different degrees of technology integration. So starting from substitution. So in the first level, substitution, technology is directly substituted for a more traditional teaching tool or method. Okay, in the substitution level, technology just replaces your old lesson or a resource or an activity in the classroom. Say, for example, instead of having a printed book, you have a PDF file. Okay, the PDF file just replaces the printed book. So this is at the level of substitution. Or instead of submitting a return assignment, your students might just type it and send it to you. That is also at the level of substitution. Because there is no functional change in teaching or learning here at this level. And technology just, here we use technology only to perform the same task as it was done before the use of computer or any other technological tool. So there is no functional change in teaching or learning at the substitution level. So we just replace our old lesson or activity or resource with the use of with the technology. And at the second level, augmentation, technology again, it replaces our old lesson, resource, or activity, but with a little functional improvement. Say, for example, instead of a printed book, we use a website. Okay, not a PDF file, a website or a web file, where you will have videos or links to related pages, and then pictures, graphs, which are animated or which are responsive. When you click on a particular word, you might get a definition of the word or usage of the word. So such kind of additional functionalities are added here. That is at the level of augmentation. I can also give you another example. At the substitution level, when you conduct a quiz, you will send the questions typed in a Word file to your students, and your students will type their answers and they'll send it back to you as a Word file at the substitution level. And at the augmentation level, you will send a Google form, which all of you might be familiar. You will send a Google form, and that your students will answer in that Google form. They'll just select the answers and they'll submit it. Okay, there are some functional improvements here at the, in this situation. So substitution and augmentation, they only enhance the classroom practices. Substitution and augmentation, they enhance the classroom practices. Whereas the third and the fourth categories, third and the fourth degrees, they transform the classroom practices. Say, for example, in modification level, technology allows for significant task and lesson redesign. Technology here does not replace. Instead, technology redesigns your lesson. Say, for example, at this level, instead of using a book, I gave you an example of using a book. So at the substitution level, you will use a PDF file instead of a book. And at the augmentation level, you will have a web page where videos and other additional resources used along with the lesson. Whereas in the modification level, the entire lesson or the entire resource is converted into some other format, maybe completely a documentary video embedded with assessment questions or additional pop-up messages to explain the context. Okay, or if it is an assignment, instead of a Google form, you will use some other formative assessment technique. Say, for example, instead of attempting a multiple choice test, your students will write an essay and then they will convert that essay into an audio narration, okay, along with some pictures. Then they'll submit it as an audio file or a podcast. Okay, there they demonstrate their knowledge. So that kind of modification technology can do to your lesson or activity. And at the last level, redefinition. At the redefinition level, technology creates new tasks. Okay, technology allows you to create new tasks, which is not possible without technology. Whereas at the substitution level, you still can use the printed book instead of a PDF file. But in the redefinition level, this particular new activity cannot be used without technology. So, for example, your students will write a project work in Google document collaboratively. So all people can work at the same time in the document, and then they can cite using the apps and add-ons in the Google document. They can cite the sources, they can add further resources, and then they can share it with the people outside their classroom. Okay, people can work from different places. They can even share the file with someone who is in another country and get feedback. So peer reviewing and brainstorming, all these things can happen in the same document. But without that particular technological tool, Google document, this activity cannot exit. Okay, this activity cannot exit. So that is at the level of redefinition. So usually teachers who start using technology in the initial stage, they will only substitute, or at the maximum level, they will augment. Whereas we are supposed to modify and redefine our lessons and resources. That will happen with a lot of experience in using technology. So modification and redefinition, they transform our lessons. And to to transform our lessons or to integrate technology seamlessly into our curriculum, we need to know several things. Okay, we need to have knowledge that will help us to integrate technology into our teaching or learning purposes. So there is another framework, TPACK framework, designed by Mishra and Kohler in 2006. Of course, the framework existed even before them, but they documented it properly through their research paper. So according to them, teachers need to have knowledge in 3 domains. First one is content knowledge. Teachers need to have knowledge of their own subject matter. They need to know the concepts, theories, evidence, and organizational frameworks in that subject. And the second one is pedagogical knowledge. Teachers need to know the practices, processes, and methods regarding teaching and learning. Pedagogical knowledge encompasses the purposes, values, and aims of education. This is in general. And it may also apply to specific areas such as students' learning style and classroom management skills, lesson planning, and assessment. So pedagogical knowledge. The third area where teachers need to have knowledge is technological knowledge. Teachers need to know, and teachers must be able to use various technological tools. So here in technological knowledge, teachers need to understand educational technology. They must realize the possibilities for a class. They must be able to realize the possibilities of using a technological tool in a classroom and what impact that particular technological tool will create in the classroom. That also teachers should know. Now, we need to consider the intersecting areas in this diagram. Pedagogical and content knowledge, PCK. Pedagogical content knowledge refers to the teaching methodologies with which you can teach a particular subject. Say, for example, you're going to teach grammar. So in order to teach a particular grammatical item, what pedagogical method will you use? Okay, that is pedagogical content knowledge. And the second intersecting area is technological content knowledge. Technological content knowledge refers to teachers' understanding of how technology and content can influence or push against each other, how they influence each other. For example, teachers need to understand how the subject matter can be communicated through various educational technological tools, and which technological tool will be suited for a particular content, a particular subject. That teachers must know. For science, some tools will be useful. For arts or for literature, history, a particular tools will be useful. So teachers need to know for this particular content what tool can be used. And the third intersecting area is technological pedagogical knowledge. This TCK refers to teachers' understanding of how particular technologies can change the teaching learning experience by introducing new pedagogical possibilities and constraints. Okay, so these 3 intersecting areas. Now at the center there is one area where all the three domains intersect. That is TPACK, technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. This refers to, this is the end result of the various combinations, the combinations of these 3 domains, and this helps when a teacher develops technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. The teacher will be able to efficiently and innovatively integrate technology into classroom practices. So this cannot happen in one day. It takes time, teachers need to develop their professional skills in all these three domains. Now I move on to the central idea of my presentation, the challenges and some of the possible solutions for teachers to integrate technology innovatively. So for that purpose, I'd like to draw ideas from Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a concept, it is a motivational theory in psychology. It comprises a 5-tier model of human needs. People need different things at different levels. So only when you satisfy the needs at the lower level, people can attend needs at the higher level. So at the lower level, we have physiological needs such as food, warmth, water, rest, shelter. All these things comes under physiological needs, and then safety needs. And in the third level, we have belongingness and love needs. And at the fourth level, esteem needs. And the highest level, we have self-actualization. Self-actualization is achieving one's full potential, where you express your creativity and your ability. Now, using this concept, I'm trying to apply this concept into to identify some of the challenges for teachers in integrating technology and how that can be solved. So I have Maslow's hierarchy at the one side, and some of the challenges for teachers in integrating technology in the classroom practices. And in order to overcome the challenge, what teachers need. Teachers needs in technology integration. So to overcome a challenge, teachers need certain knowledge or skill in a particular area. So I've also identified some of the needs, and then how those needs can be fulfilled through what using what method of professional development. And the need and the method of professional development together, they form the solution. So each institution or each professional development organization can create new solutions for these challenges. So at the lower level, we have 3 important challenges for teachers. These 3 challenges are related to technology. The first challenge is lack of confidence. Many teachers don't have the confidence to use technology in the classroom because they have the fear of failure. If there is any technology failure, what will happen? The teacher might be efficient and full of content knowledge in the classroom, but still, when the teacher tries to use technology in the classroom, in case it fails, the teacher may have to cut a sorry figure in front of the student. So that fear of failure may create a negative attitude in the teacher, or resistance to change, resistance to use technology in the classroom. So fear of failure, and also the teacher may have limited knowledge in the use of ICT. And the second challenge is a lack of accessibility to digital devices in the classroom. Because in many institutions, you have only 1 or 2 computer labs. In order to use those computer lab or ICT halls, you need to book that particular hall well in advance. And most teachers, most of these labs or ICT halls are shared by many teachers. So teachers who are burdened with teaching work, they might forget to book the hall. So that is also creating a frustration. The reason for this lack of accessibility in the institution is the poor organization of resources. How institutions organize these technological resources inside the campus. So that is one problem. And the lack of accessibility can also be caused by lack of personal devices. The teacher may not have a personal device, so that can also be a reason for lack of accessibility. At the maximum, a teacher may possess a smartphone and a laptop, but it's not possible for a teacher to purchase a projector or any other devices that can be used in the online classes. And the third challenge with regard to technology is lack of technical support. In many institutions, you only have one technical assistant. That technical assistant may not be present in all the classes. So whenever there is some technology failure or whenever there is some problem with the use of technology, teachers need to avail the support of technical assistant, which may not be available always. So that is also another challenge. And these challenges, they can be translated into two different needs. The first need is functionality. Teachers need to become functional in the use of technology. Functionality can be improved with two things: device deployment and device configuration. By device deployment, I mean making necessary digital infrastructure available to teachers and students. Say, for example, if a teacher needs to project something on the screen, so the teacher needs a computer and projector. And if the teacher wants to draw and create something in the classroom, the teacher needs interactive whiteboards. And then the internet connection, Wi-Fi. These digital infrastructure may have to be made available to students and teachers. And then the configuration, device configuration, making the right setting for each device is essential. So teachers need to know how to make the setting. Say, for example, how to adjust the brightness of a screen and how to increase the volume, how to mute and unmute. Okay, and then how to share the audio when you hold online classes. And the teachers need to know connecting computers to internet via a Wi-Fi or hotspot or wired connection. And then connecting computers or mobile device with projectors or interactive whiteboards or even printers, scanners, mic and speaker. So these are some of the minor issues which teachers may not be trained. So we need to concentrate on these things, these areas. We need to train teachers in these areas also. And checking your internet speed. And if your internet speed is not sufficient, you need to know how to change the network. So these are some of the minor things which teachers need to be trained in. So in order to train teachers in the functionality related needs, we can assign a mentor to a teacher. Maybe a teacher who can use computer, who can integrate technology well in the classroom, can mentor a newbie. Okay, so we can find a mentor for a new teacher, or we can give hands-on training. These are some of the more methods of professional development which can help the teacher who learns to use technology. And the second level of needs is related to reliability. It is reliability needs. It is managing safety and security when you go online. It includes password management. Say, for example, you need to know how to create a strong password and how to remember it. And you should not use the same password in many websites. And you should know how to enable two-step verification for your mail or for your social media platforms. And then how to use incognito mode in browsers when you do online banking. Okay, these are some of the safety-related skills teachers need to know. And then how to secure your files and computers using an antivirus program or firewall to prevent unauthorized internal and external access. And then you need to develop a data backup practice so that you will not lose your data. So periodically you will copy and have a second, you will have another storage wherein you will store all your data. And you should also know how to secure your data. I mean, your personal data privacy practices. You need to develop those practices. So what information about you is available to others online. And finally, with regard to reliability, you need to have internet safety skills, like using parental control, how you filter and monitor web content. Okay, what contents are accessed by your students. you as a teacher need to be able to monitor, and you need to be able to filter some of the contents in the classroom. And then preventing cyberbullying or cyber harassment, and then managing your digital identity. You must be able to lock your digital profile. For example, recently in Facebook, we have profile cloning. There is a scam going on. People just clone your profile and then they contact your friends and then ask for money. Such scams are also going on. If you just lock your profile, you can at least prevent such scams. Okay, and then internet etiquettes, how to use internet in a responsible manner, and how to be safe online. These are some of the things teachers need to be trained in the second level in safety needs. Again, to fulfill the reliability needs, we can find a mentor and hands-on training. One-to-one training will be very helpful to solve technology-related problems. Because if you gather all teachers together and conduct a workshop, teachers may not get a personal assistance. So you need to have one-to-one training at this level. And the second set of challenges are related to behaviors. So the first challenge is lack of competence in ICT integration. Teachers, they may know how to use some app or website or software, but they may not know how to use it in a better way in the classroom. Okay, so that competence teachers may be lacking. So that is one problem, how technology can be integrated into pedagogical practice. And then the second challenge in this category is lack of time to plan. Teachers are already burdened with several work. Okay, so when you integrate technology into the classroom, you should also consider the planning time, because you need to explore, you need to browse several websites, and you need to find the most suitable website for your most suitable resource for your classroom, and then you need to find give the link of that particular material and how that will be used. You have to plan several things. So lack of time to plan is another challenge. And finally, lack of effective training. Most institutions and most organizations, when they train teachers, the training sessions are often technocentric. Okay, they just explain how to use a particular tool. Say, for example, if it is a Google document, how to open the Google document, how to type it, and then how to use these some of the options available in the menu, how to close it, how to share it. They only teach you things related to technology, but effective training will also include how the technological tool can be used from a pedagogical perspective. So such kind of a practice needs to be developed. So related to these challenges, we move on to the third level of needs, that is usability needs. So by this time, these needs, they don't happen, like initially teachers will have functionality need. They don't happen in a linear manner. They can happen at any time. We can train teachers at any time, like teachers who are at the higher level can also be trained at the functionality level. So they can happen at any level. And the usability need, here teachers need to know different softwares and apps that can enhance their educational processes, their classroom practices. Okay, so they need to know several apps and websites, and only then they'll be able to find the suitable one. So at the usability level, teachers need to know installing and uninstalling a software or an app. And then they should be able to find useful software and app. And they should also, they must also be able to use necessary software or app to create resources and activities for their classroom. So these are some of the needs in the usability level. To fulfill these needs, teachers can be part of communities of practitioners. Teachers need to belong to a group. So this is where teacher associations and teacher groups, teacher support groups, they come into picture only at this level. So when you have a discussion forum, it could be an online discussion forum or an offline discussion forum. When teachers refer to a new website or a new tool, others will make a note of it and they'll try to explore and use it. And unconferences are it is a unstructured conferences. Okay, there will be no resource person. Everybody can contribute their knowledge to the discussion forum. It is in another way, it is a discussion forum. Unconferences are in one way, they are discussion forum, but the topic will be decided beforehand. And then who will be moderating the discussion? These things will be planned, and then the unconference sessions can happen. Teachers will benefit a lot using in this unconferences and discussion forum sessions. And also you can provide on-demand workshops. We need to conduct a needs analysis, and then based on the needs, like what tools teachers want to learn, and what teaching practices, what areas of teaching and learning teachers wants to enhance. And after understanding this through a needs analysis, we can conduct on-demand workshops. And at the fourth level, we have proficiency needs. Proficiency needs, here the teacher already knows several websites and apps. So the proficiency needs, teacher starts using some of the tech-supported pedagogies, some of the technologies integrated teaching methodologies in the classroom. Say, for example, it could be blended learning, flipped learning, gamification. Teacher tries to make use of these pedagogies in the classroom. So now the teacher's focus is mainly on the pedagogy, not on the technology. So how that should be implemented in a classroom, that has to be given to the teachers. Need to be trained in that particular area. So at the proficiency level, instead of organizing a conference, workshop, teachers need to do action research. Teachers need to observe what happens in the classroom, and teachers need to reflect. So action research, journaling, these kinds of professional development activities will benefit teachers a lot at the fourth level, in the proficiency level. So if you look at the ladder, like from functionality, reliability, usability, and proficiency, by the time a teacher becomes proficient user of technology in the classroom, the teacher is also able to find out the suitable teaching methodology and suitable technological tools for teaching a particular content. Now at the fifth level, so at the fifth level, of course, the challenges are different. They are not challenges related to integrating technology, but by the time a teacher reaches the fifth level, the teacher will become a creative one. Okay, the teacher finds new ways of using technological tools. Teacher becomes more creative. Teacher has an array of digital tools. They have a toolbox from which they can find out a suitable digital tool for a particular content. So teacher becomes very creative, and the way they use a particular technological tool will also be very creative. So the last level is related to values. Now, when a teacher reaches this level, the teacher will be able to train other teachers also. So only those teachers who are creatively using technology should train other teachers. Otherwise, the workshops or training sessions will be more technocentric. Teachers who are creative will be able to balance technology and pedagogy. Now, so combining these needs and methods of professional development, any institution or any professional development organizations can come up with packages, programs for training teachers in the use of in integrating technology into classroom practices. I would also like to consider some of the emerging opportunities for teachers to integrate technology in the classroom practices. I would like to highlight three. With that, I'll end my presentation. The first one is normalization of technology. The second one is cutting edge technologies that are emerging now. And finally, emerging teaching methods supported by technology. So by normalization of technology, I mean, if you look at these pictures, you will be able to find it out. Have you ever come across any such scenarios like this? Children who are proficiently using technology. For them, smartphones are not technology. Smartphones look like an everyday object. Okay, so normalization is a point of time when technology is used without our being consciously aware of its role as a technology, but as a valuable element in the language learning process. So Stephen Bax, a researcher, he defined the concept normalization. So normalization is technology becomes a normal object in our day-to-day life. So we don't consider those tools as an external element. For example, a smartphone has become a part of our life. We know how to take a photograph. We know how to send a message. So these kinds of normalized activities can also be included in the classroom practices. And then the second kind of opportunities are cutting edge technologies that are emerging now. These technologies may not have entered into our classroom at the moment, but in future they are going to influence our teaching practices. For example, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and then 3D printers, cloud computing, virtual reality, natural language processing. These cutting edge technologies will take away some of our mechanical work, like correcting an answer script and writing feedback for each student. Such kind of mechanical work can be done by these technologies, whereas there are some work which cannot be done by technology, like designing a lesson and matching the lesson with the student's need. That can be done by only a teacher. So a teacher can concentrate on such areas, whereas technology can do the other mechanical work. And finally, I would like to list out some of the emerging teaching methodologies or pedagogies. Earlier, we were talking about CALL, Computer Assisted Language Learning. All institutions, they wanted to establish a language lab wherein they will have computers connected with the internet and some softwares will be installed. All computers in the lab will be networked. But now we are gradually moving on towards MAL, Mobile Assisted Language Learning. With your students having mobile devices, you can create a language lab. You can create a lab in your classroom or anywhere when your students are at their home, because mobile phones gives you mobile learning allows you 24/7 access to resources and classrooms. So as a result, mobile assisted language learning is gaining popularity now. And we are moving towards from blended learning to flipped learning. Flipped learning is one of the methods of blended learning. Blended learning means you blend, you mix physical classroom activities and digital activities. Whereas in flipped learning, whatever happened in the classroom will happen online. Say, for example, you would give a lecture online, and then the homework will be done in the classroom. Discussion or working out a problem will happen in the classroom. So we are moving towards flipped learning. And then from traditional classroom, traditional teaching methods to gamification. Gamification is gaining popularity nowadays. Applying game principles into a lesson or into an activity is gamification. Of course, it's a vast area which is developing. And then from regular physical courses to MOOCs, massive open online courses. So sitting at your home, you can learn, you can do any course from any university through your computer or your mobile devices. So massive open online courses are also gaining popularity. And then finally, from libraries to open educational resources. Okay. Of course, it's pathetic to see that many students are not using library very often, but at the same time, you can also see open educational resources. You have a repository of materials prepared for different kinds of learners. It could be video, audio file, or pictures, graphs, books, and they can be stored online, which is free of cost. It is available free of cost to anybody, any learners. So you can access to those resources and learn. And you can also use those resources into your own online courses. So that way they will reduce the burden of a teacher in creating resources for his or her classroom. So finally, I'd like to conclude with a quote from Terry Haig. Technology doesn't make teaching better or worse, simpler or more complex. Instead, it changes it all entirely. So technology changes everything in your classroom, the framework, the model, the curriculum design, and the way you deliver your lessons, how you conduct the assessment activities, and how you provide feedback. Everything is changed by technology. So we shouldn't think of technology as a magic wand. Technology cannot do any magic without the magician. The teacher is the magician. So the teacher need to develop himself or herself professionally in the area of technology integration. Only then technology can work efficiently in the classroom. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. The presentation was very systematic. Both challenges and solutions were provided, especially through Marlow's hierarchy model. Excuse me. So now I invite the co-moderator of this webinar, Vice President of LTI Trichy Chapter, Assistant Professor of Holy Cross College Trichy, Ms. Maria Camilla, to take us through the question-answer session. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayashree. Thank you, Jayashree. Thank you, Sir Pradeep, sir, for your informative session. There are a few questions from the participants. I request our resource person to please answer. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Do you hear me? But I'm not able to see anything on the screen. But I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, even I'm not able to. But is it okay, sir? Can you go about?
Yeah.
The question from Dr. Hemkant. Technology cannot replace teacher. Yes, but can it reduce the number of teachers? Can it reduce the number of teachers?
That's a brilliant observation. Of course, it can reduce the number of teachers. But who will be reduced? Who will lose their job? Teachers who are not smarter than technology may be reduced. So that is true in a way, but teacher's job will never be replaced.
Thank you, sir. There is another question. Is technology breaking the traditional bond between teachers and students?
Can you repeat the question, ma'am?
Is technology breaking the traditional bond between teachers and students? It's by Aravindan.
I won't say it is breaking. Instead, it changes. As I gave the quote by Terry Haig, technology changes everything. So earlier in a physical classroom, we had a different kind of bond with our students. But now things are changing. Okay, in online classes also, we are able to develop a bond with our students. So I won't say it is breaking. But it is changing. The bond between teachers and students are changing. The dimensions are changing.
So next question. Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
can you
Yes,
hear
ma'am.
me?
Yes, ma'am.
Next question is, could content creation based on technology be a source of confidence booster to teachers? From Surya Kumari.
Can you repeat the question? Could content creation?
Could content creation based on technology be a source of confidence booster to the teachers?
Yes, of course. Teachers who no, most of the teachers, they may have apprehension in appearing on video or in a photograph. So instead, if teachers are able to create content, like they can create animated videos, if they are confident in that, that can in a way encourage teachers to integrate technology into the classroom. So content development can be a source for confidence boosters through teachers.
Thank you, sir. Another question from Prakash. What are the opportunities for young researchers to take up research in ICT and ELT in present situation in India?
Okay, so in my last part of my presentation, where I listed out cutting edge technologies like natural language processing, artificial intelligence, these are some of the areas emerging. We do not know what influence these cutting edge technologies will make in our classroom practices. So researchers can explore these areas. And even the established web tools, they themselves have not been explored so far. So we can also explore such areas, how the traditional teaching methods have changed with the use of technology that can be done, and then emerging teaching method. That is why I listed out all those things in the towards the end of my presentation, like gamification, OERs. These are some of the areas which can be explored by researchers.
Thank you, sir. Another question from Dr. Seema Singh. Do you think technological tools are going to become extremely important in pedagogical practices going forward? That is, in the new normal and online teaching over the last year and a half have made teachers more technological savvy?
No, I don't think so. This new normal, many people say that this new normal is going to stay, but I doubt. Let's consider maybe after this pandemic is over, maybe after 2 or 3 years, will all teachers use these technological tools in the classroom? That I still doubt. So these technological tools are important in one way or the other. They'll help our learners to do their future jobs in an efficient manner. But teachers I don't think teachers have become more techno savvy. Teachers have got knowledge about using technology, but knowledge or information will not help. Teachers need to develop wisdom about using technology. What impacts these technological tools are making on their classroom practices. They need to reflect on that. That's why I said journaling and reflective practices such as action research will help teachers to gain more wisdom.
Thank you, sir. Another question. What is the hands-on training available to teachers in India today?
No, every institution provides. Yes, ma'am. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Every institution provides hands-on training for new teachers. Most often, these trainings are on Microsoft Office, Word, or PowerPoint. So, but the problem is they are more technocentric in the sense teachers do not understand how these tools can be customized to their classroom practices. So pedagogy oriented technological training need to be given. So hands-on training is given in almost in many institutions. So when I say hands-on training, all teachers will be given a gadget. the training session will happen in a laboratory, computer laboratory, where teachers will work in a computer, and the teachers will try to do what they are trained in. So that kind of hands-on training is available in most of the institutions. But at the school level, I still doubt. I don't know whether all school teachers or maybe in private schools this can happen. But in the public sector, I don't know whether teachers are given a hands-on training. They may be given a lecture on using technology, but hands-on training, you have got a lot of limitations. The availability of digital gadgets, such kind of limitations you have.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Pradeep, sir, for answering the question. There are a few more questions by board of time. We are just completing it.
Thank you.
It's time for vote of thanks. As the curtain falls on today's 63rd LTI webinar on the topic Empowering Teachers to Integrate Technology, Challenges and Solutions, I am honored to propose the vote of thanks. I thank Dr. Xavier Pradeep Singh, Assistant Professor of English, St. Joseph's College, Vice President, LTI, Trichy Chapter, for empowering us through his presentation, how to integrate technology in solving the challenges we face today. Thank you, sir. Sir has helped us to understand teachers' diverse needs in professional development and addressing them with appropriate strategy. He explained to us the role of teachers, the two kinds of teachers, one who's a teacher and one who works as a teacher. He has explained in detail how to integrate technology in daily classrooms and the effective use of technology by selecting the appropriate mode. Sir has explained in detail about SAMR, substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. He also explained to us about the knowledge required of a teacher, like that of pedagogical knowledge, technological knowledge, and content knowledge, and how they influence each other. We thank him for making us understand by integrating
Ma'am, please check your audio.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes. Please continue.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Maybe because of the network issue, I don't. Sir has helped us to the 5 levels of challenges like functionality, reliability, usability, proficiency, and creativity, and methods to solve them. Thank you, sir, for that informative lecture, which was apt and need of the hour. No event can be successful without people who dedicate their resources and time to make sure everything is faultless. I thank our host, Dr. Praveen Sam, for his meticulous conduct of this webinar. I thank you, sir. I thank Dr. Jayashree, Assistant Professor, Head Department of English, Kaveri College, for extending a supportive hand in moderating this webinar. Thank you, ma'am. I sincerely thank Dr. Catherine Edward, Associate Professor of English, Holy Cross College, and President LTI, Trichy Chapter, for coordinating this webinar. I also thank the organizing committee, office bearers, members of LTI at the national level, and all participants of today's webinar. Thank you all. Now, I request our host, Dr. Praveen Sam, to give a concluding note of this webinar. Over to Dr. Praveen Sam, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for that vote of thanks. Thank you, both the moderators, for moderating the session in a very nice way. For the participants, we have I have two announcements. The first announcement is the webinar for the next week, titled Theatre in the English Language Classroom, to Do to Understand. The resource person of this session will be Dr. Annie Kuriachin, Associate Professor and Head, Department of English, Women's Christian College, Chennai. I request the audience to register for this webinar as well and get enlightened. The next event that I would like to share with you is an 8-day FTP program organized by LTI in association with Sri Ramakrishna Engineering College, Coimbatore, titled Reading Back to Basics, from Screen Flippers to Page Turners. So this FTP will happen from 23rd to 31st of August 2021. So I request the audience to register for this as well and enrich your teaching of reading and reading experience. Thank you so much.